Hello, community. Back again after being sick. And today I want to talk about everybody's favorite company, EA. So, one of the things that recently has come up was, of course, that NCAA decided not to renew their contract with EA after the 2014 season, which, of course, is NCAA 20, which is coming out right now. And it's funny about this is that this is all stating on the fact that there was a lawsuit against the NCAA and EA by former and current players in football for using their likeness and not getting compensated for it. Now, this actual same thing is one of the reasons why EA quit making their basketball game. Even though they said they quit NCAA basketball because of declining sales, there were also a big litigation back then with the players also, and because the sales weren't as big as other games, they just stopped making it. But in this case, the game annually sells at least 2 million copies, so it does make a decent amount of money. So they want to continue to make it. And right now there is a big antitrust lawsuit because there really hasn't been no legal precedent set on do they have a right, the NCAA or EA, to use a student's actual likeness without compensating them. It's not like pro sports, for example, like baseball or wrestling, where when they play for that sport or that company, they sign a contract and they get to use their likeness and their name any way they can, so they can sell their name to the video game company. But when they retire in wrestling and baseball and other stuff, they have to go out and negotiate a contract with them to put them in the game. Now, I've always been the personal opinion that I think college players should be paid anyway. The schools are making millions and millions of dollars a year off the athletes, and they're not getting nothing out of it. Well, only the ones who are going pro, and some would say in education, but still, what they get out of it versus what the college makes off them is a big difference. And so basically what has happened is, since the AA won't renew its contract due to this litigation, that EA has gone to the Collegiate Licensing, and they basically signed an agreement. And what the agreement works is any school can opt in or opt out. And 150 conferences, schools, and bowl games have signed on. And basically they can use their logos, their likenesses, their mascots, their stadiums. Basically what will probably happen is EA is just going to put the player number on the player. They just won't actually put the name on the player, and they'll have the same stats as that person. I'm assuming that's how they're going to get around it. Like the stats are going to be the same as that person's stats, the number, but it's not, because they're wearing a helmet, you're not going to get to see their face, and so you really aren't going to know, so it's not going to be that person. Again, I think going into a litigation standpoint, a lot of people didn't think this would happen so much in football because, well, they wear a helmet. You don't see their face, so therefore you're using their name. And again, that all depends on how the NCAA and the college they sign on, what the contract states, right? And then again, you get into the other argument, obviously, that, well, a lot of these kids aren't like 21 when they sign, if they were to sign this contract, would it be done with their guardian or parent? And then wouldn't there be another way around it? It's a legal mess that's never been defined before. And I think they should be compensated. I think if you use somebody's name and face, they should be compensated because you're selling them. They should get a percentage of it. You are using them. Especially, it really gets sticky when you're using former players more than current, because current players are playing for a school and maybe the contract, but not former players. So what do you think about this lawsuit against EA and the NCAA? Do you think there's any could they really get in trouble for using someone's likeness and not compensating for it? Because again, this isn't like them playing for the school. This is actually that being money made off them and their likeness. What do you think about the lawsuit against? What do you think about the fact that EA went around to the college, licensing? Now, not every school signed on, obviously, and so it'll be interesting where this lawsuit goes because it has current players and former players also. So, guys, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, and I will talk to you again soon.